really hope that you cannot hear my alarm clock ticking. I think I should probably go grab that. Okay, hi everybody, welcome to Laaleebee Knits. This is a knitting podcast, in case the name didn't give it away. My name is Natalie. I live in Belfast with my boyfriend of 8 years and our little dog Henry. And I decided to give recording a little podcast a go. There aren't very many podcasts coming out of Northern Ireland. Emma Robinson's one from Woolly Mammoth Fibre. Is it Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co? Or Woolly Mammoth Yarn Co? You'll know Emma anyway. Emma's podcast is beautiful because she's a photographer and she does kind of beautiful scenic shots. She's the only one that I know of anyway that is coming out of Northern Ireland, or the north of Ireland, depending on where you're from. So I thought I would give it a go. I like using local yarns. I like using a lot of UK based yarn companies and indie dyers, and to be honest, I just wanted a little space of my own to share with my knitting. I don't have any knitting besties in real life. I'm very jealous of the We Share Needles gals. They seem to have such a good friendship. I don't really have that in real life, but I can share more about that later. So I thought for this episode I would just share a little bit about me and when I started knitting and stuff like that. Then I would share some recent FOs and some projects that I'm currently working on and a couple of little acquisitions that I have. So, I mean, what is interesting about me? I am an academic. I am a postdoctoral researcher at a university at the moment. My specialism is in late medieval English religious writing, so it's very niche. And I'm working with a team at the minute. So that's my kind of day-to-day job. I have 4 sisters. They're all younger than me. Not all of them knit. I think all of them can knit, and one of them knits a wee bit more than the rest, although she's a bit of a seasonal knitter, so she's not kind of constantly the way I would be. But my granny taught us all to knit when we were very young, and then I would only ever make garter squares that would go into triangle. And I hated garter stitch for so long because every time I would knit it, it would just make me think of those ugly little triangles that I would make that were full of mistakes. But I've come round to garter now. I am a convert. Oh, I just realised I forgot my biggest project. I'll go and get that. Anyway, so yeah, my granny taught me to knit when I was very young, probably about 6. Maybe 5. She used to knit us these little soft toys, and like totally different era. You were teaching yourself from magazines and patterns, and none of the help that we have now with YouTube and with different instructors and fabulous guides on how to do technical stuff. My gran would knit us these little characters. They would have different wardrobes. She was a seamstress as well, so she was always making our Halloween costumes for us and our school play costumes. She made a kangaroo outfit for one of my sisters one year. So Granny's been very crafty her whole life, and I guess she's passed that on to me. My grandfather's a baker as well, and he kind of passed the baking gene on a bit, although I don't really do too much of that now. Knitting has taken over. So yeah, I kind of went out of the way of knitting for a while, and then when I was doing my PhD, I think about halfway through, so it must have been 2015, I picked up a crochet hook. I'd met a girl who I'm still friendly with on Instagram, Emma, who crocheted a lot, and she, got me into crocheting, and I would crochet these big blankets, and loved it, absolutely loved it. So I crocheted for a few years, and then after the PhD, I ordered, I think I ordered a We Are Knitters kit, and knit myself a big long ribbed scarf that everyone tells you not to start with your first knitting project, a big long scarf, because you get bored of it. But I still actually have it, and I just got the bug. I'd never heard of indie dyers. I'd never heard of half of the techniques. I never thought I would make garments, but I did. I just stuck with it, and I got the bug. And there weren't very many yarn stores at the time. There was one, which was about 20 minutes outside of my home town, that I would visit every now and then. But then Belfast opened two yarn stores, Folklore Yarns and Hank's Yarn Parlour, recently, and it's just, for a knitter who's really into it, it's just so handy to nip around and grab a couple extra needles, because you don't want to finish off a project but you want to cast another one on. So yeah, that's been my kind of knitting journey so far. My sister Chloe knits more than the others do, but she's a bit of a seasonal knitter, like I said, and she is currently knitting a Halloween jumper. Her first jumper is a colourwork jumper she's knitting, and she's doing a great job of it. So maybe I'll be able to convince her to come and show her Halloween jumper. So fingers crossed for that. But anyway, on to finished objects. I'm just going by what I've done in the last month or so. So my first finished object is a Shawl. Boop, boop, boop. I haven't actually worn this out. It's blocked. Did I block this? Yes, I blocked this because I wanted to see my colour work, because I'm not hugely confident with the colour work yet, but I think it blocked out really nicely. I did knit it to the cropped size. I probably should have done it a wee bit longer, but I didn't. The yarn I used was mostly John Arbon yarn, and then I ripped out an old jumper that I had finished. I ripped out an old jumper to get this blue, because I just didn't have a light enough blue for this. So I followed the inspiration of somebody on Ravelry. I think I mentioned them in my Ravelry page. I hope I did. And if I didn't, I'll go and correct that. But that is my Soldotna. It was a pretty speedy knit until I got to here, and then I just was over this, but I'm glad I did them. And I probably will knit it again, but I'll probably knit it a bit longer. My shoulder's a little bit funky here. I don't know if you can see. But anyway, that is my Soldotna. These colours are John Arbon's Knit by Numbers. I think that's what it's called. The navy, the pink, and the blue. And then the other one is Life in the Long Grass. All knit in DK. Pretty sure I used the recommended needle for it. I keep looking at myself because I'm vain, apparently. But no, I will try and look at the little dot. But anyway, yeah. It's been way too hot in Northern Ireland, quite frankly. August was unheard of roasting. I feel like I'm too warm if it's above 17 degrees Celsius. It was like routinely 25 degrees. I'm not built for that. I am way too pale to be running around 25 degrees. The amount of sun cream I went through in August is obscene. But anyway, so that's my first recently finished object. And then I finished one, it's not yet blocked, so forgive that. I finished one maybe 2 or 3 nights ago. This is what I'm calling my birthday jumper, because my birthday's in a couple of weeks and it's beautiful, if I do say so myself. It is a spring sorrel. I am already wearing one. This one I knit maybe in March. Feels like a March colour, doesn't it? I knit this one out of Giddy Aunt yarns in their leprechaun colourway, of course, March. But it's beautiful, and I bought the 4 skeins in the same go, so they did the same dye lot. Didn't have to adjust skeins, I just knit it. I think with the reverse stock in it as well, you can kind of see striping more on that side than you do on this side. I'll maybe stand up and show. The only thing is, this one, I wish I had knitted a little longer, because it's fine over dresses like this. It kind of comes to there's my hip, but if I'm wearing trousers, I'm constantly fidgeting with it. But it's nice over a little dress. I think I actually really like it. So I decided to knit a birthday one. My birthday's in September. And this is knit exactly the same. I just made it a little longer. You can't really see because I haven't blocked it yet. But I knit the body a little longer and then continued with the ribbon. And this is knit out of pixie yarn, hand-dyed yarn, in their colourway Paper Flowers. And it's DK. I actually had 2 skeins of it. I don't know why I bought 2 skeins of DK. What was I going to make with that? But I bought 2 skeins, and then they sat for ages because I couldn't use it in anything. It just was too precious. It had to be something beautiful because I just love the colour. This is what I have left of 4 skeins. So I contacted the dyer at Pixie Yarns and asked if she would dye me up another couple of skeins, and told her it was for jumper. And she asked for photos of the skeins that I had to make sure that the speckling kind of matched up, which I just thought was a bit above and beyond, really. And that's why I really like supporting really small businesses who take the time to figure that out for you, and who've knit, they're knitting jumpers themselves. They know what it's like to knit with hand-dyed yarn that you're buying at separate times. Not the best idea, Natalie. But anyway, this is how much I have left. I haven't weighed it yet, but it's a lot. I had a full skein left of my green that I knit, so I went a little bit longer with this one, but again, probably could have gone a bit longer. But this is my birthday jumper, and I called it that because I cast it on in July and then didn't really touch it. And I don't know why, because it goes quickly. Like, I really would recommend this jumper. I think it's all the purling. And I haven't knit any of the other sorrel jumpers, but I know that I think you knit the summer sorrel inside out, so you're not purling a lot. But there's a lot of this whole thing is purling, and it was a lot of purling. So I was glad I finished it. I decided it would be my birthday jumper to give myself a bit of a kick in the arse to get it done. So that is my other finished object. 2 jumpers! Like, it will not be like this. 2 jumpers is insane. So anyway, I also wanted to mention I've got a little notions pouch, which is adorable, from Little Love NI, who is my friend Emma, who got me into crochet. She makes these little pouches, sells them on Etsy. They're little Liberty prints, as well as lots of other stuff, and she's doing a lot of autumnal stuff coming up. So if I figure out how to upload this and share links, then I will share a link. So I feel like I really rushed through that. And I have been told whenever I'm speaking in like academic things that I just talk really quickly. So I need to just breathe. Plus, hopefully, my other half, Neil, will help me edit the awkward bits out. Anyway, so I finished 2 jumpers. I actually had 4 on the needles. 2 of them I haven't brought with me today because I'm not actively working on them. They're in time out. And they will remain there for the foreseeable. But I have a couple more. I have one more jumper that I want to show you. It is my... Well, I started it and then when the pattern was released, and then I haven't really touched it. So now that I've finished my birthday jumper, this is the next one. And this is the Alpenglow by Drea Renee Knits. And I've knit a lot of her patterns. I love how clearly she writes her patterns. So let me sort out my strands because I'm getting tangled. Very good, Natalie, very good. I should probably have put it on a bigger needle as well. We live and learn. It looks huge. Like this neckline that's a big neckline. Like if we compare it to this one, that's sizable. So it could be that I've done something wrong. You do pick it up and knit it in. And I don't want to knit it into a big long turtleneck, so it might maybe sit here and then I'll knit up. Maybe. Anyway, this is a sport weight pattern. I'm not knitting it in sport weight. I'm knitting it in Brooklyn tweed. And I have taken colour inspiration from a person that I follow on Instagram called, I think her name is Gara Knits. Right, she puts beautiful colour palettes together, and I have knit a Birkin, and I copied exactly what her colours were because they were beautiful, and she knit it out of Brooklyn tweed as well. So she knit one that is essentially the same as this, except her orange, I think, is the suri that the pattern calls for. I just did it all in Brooklyn tweed. What is the... I can't remember what the Brooklyn tweed fingering weight one is. Is it Shelter? No, it's Loft. Brooklyn tweed. That was my most recent and biggest yarn purchase order. I think I got 8 skeins of the black. This colour is... Oh, I should know this. I've knit with it. It's cast iron. And then we've got embers. And we've got camper. And one that I'm surprised I went for. Tallow. It's a bit more yellow than I thought it would be. Kind of wanted it to be like cream. It's yellow. But that's what I'm knitting it in. I'm not buying any more. So that is my next project. It feels very autumnal. It's nice, isn't it? And I love my Brooklyn tweed sweater that I have. So I really want to finish this. I've finished the first colourwork section. And basically I'm doing these little blips until I split for sleeves. But you do have to concentrate on that. A little tiny bit. I mean, the other thing is that these little blips are not stranded colourwork. They are mosaic colourwork, which I've never done before, and it's weird that it's working. I don't know why I don't trust Andrea Murray's pattern because she's never failed me, but blowing my mind that it works. And I don't have big long floats everywhere. So anyway, love this. Excited to wear this. But it's too warm still for that. And we're still in birthday month, so the birthday jumper is fine for now. That's a major whip that I'm going to pick up. I got slightly distracted. I had every good intention of going straight into that. But then Stephen West's Cal was announced, and I'm like, oh, I want to join it. I haven't joined a mystery knit along before because I'm not a mystery kind of gal, really. I want to know what I'm doing. I want to know how it's gonna look. I want to know which colour goes where. It just feels like a big commitment to knit a 5 skein shawl that could be a jumper that I know is gonna look like how I want it to look. It feels like a big commitment. It's a big risk, and I'm not a risk taker. So, yeah, I went back and forth, and a lot of indie dyers were bringing out some beautiful kits. I really wanted to buy one, but I did not. Instead, what I did was I went stash diving and cast on a different shawl. Let me see. This is in a little bag that I made. I hate sewing. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to knit a big shawl. The other story with this is that I've already knit this shawl before, and then I lost it. I nearly dropped an F-bomb there. Don't do that, Natalie. I lost my shawl. I'm still not quite over it. But it's coming into that season where I'm chilly all the time. I need another big shawl. So I am knitting a What the Fate by my beloved Andrea Murray. Now, let me... Right. I will show you my shawl. This is not really a fade, but anyway. This is how far I've gotten. Let me see if I can pull it out properly. Love this. Love that. So, it's a couple of nights progress on it. I love the brioche. It's so squishy. This is my 3rd brioche pattern, and I've kind of got it memorized, which is nice. Yeah. Right, so the other thing is that in my other shawl, I did it with pinks rather than purples. And I did the same thing where I picked a really dark colour that does not fade. And it just had this weird, kind of ugly stripe at the top, which is now a design feature of this shawl and me knitting it. There's the reverse side. I don't like there to be too much contrast in brioche. I like it to be kind of subtle. So anyway, this is my What the Fade shawl, the beginnings of it. This little stitch marker is from Hank's Yarn Parlour, my little local, which I love. It came in a set of 5, and I shared them with my sister because I'm very good. But anyway, let me talk you through my skeins that I have. So this was all stash diving because I'm trying my best to work through it, and it's kind of annoying me that I have so much beautiful yarn, but I'm not putting cohesive garments together, and I'm buying sweater quantities. So if I'm going to do a big project like this that's supposed to be mild and you're supposed to have a lot of mix, I'm going to use them. So deep stash diving. This, oh god, do I even have the bands? Terrible. No, I don't have bands. This is a merino cashmere nylon by Eden something yarns. Oh yeah, very good, Natalie. Eden something. It's not Eden Valley. Eden Cottage. Right. Eden Cottage yarns. Don't ask me what the colour is. It's purple. But it's so soft and so beautiful. It's actually coming out a little bit more pinky purple. It's more of a, like, that's the colour. So that's beautiful. Got there eventually. This one is a Madeline Tosh can't remember the colourway either. Got it years ago. Madeline Tosh. I actually got that. My sister got that on my recommendation and she hates it. So it's not her colour, it's my colour. So I got it in the end. This is a Ching fibre. I believe this is called Lavender Fire. Oh my god, it's beautiful. I got this for my birthday last year. Look at this terrible skein that I have. Anyway, got this for my birthday last year. Love it. This is coming up a lot. It's a lot more blue. Oh yeah. This is from Bird Street Yarns. Beautiful dyer. Beautiful solids. Gorgeous. Gorgeous yarn. It's just a superwash merino. 75.25. This one is by Pixie Yarns. You might recognise it because I knit a whole jumper in it. I couldn't resist. I have a theme. I like pinks and purples. Couldn't resist. So I had also a fingering weight skein in my stash. And it's too nice for socks. You know, I have a lot of socks. And I like to use nice yarns for socks, but also I need to be wearing this visibly. So that is my Pixie yarn. And then my last one is another Bird Street Yarns. Couldn't tell you what it's called. Candy, maybe? I have a couple of these on their websites at the minute because I was looking yesterday. So anyway, those are my colours for my fade. I really want to get that done before October. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But I really would like to get like the bulk of this shawl done so that I can then in October really work on my autumnal one so that I have it to work in November. And then I also have plans for a winter jumper. We'll see, I'll just flash my shawl again. A beautiful brioche. Gorgeous. So yeah, I'm slightly addicted to that. I hurt my shoulder knitting it yesterday. I don't know how, but I did. So that went to time out a little bit. And then, so I have a load of socks and the needles. Because that's just who I am. I need to cast on lots of socks all at once. So this pair, I haven't been actively working on any other ones. And again, you're going to be like, Natalie, really? This colour again? This is slightly different. This, I think, is a one of a kind from Botanical Yarns. Oh, I actually thought I pulled a different sock now. So this one, I forgot all about it. I haven't knit on it in like 2 weeks. This is from Botanical Yarns. I think it was a one of a kind. Beautiful. Again, I have a theme. That would have been really good in my fade. But I didn't think about it. I'm actually knitting a little chunky leg sock because she's a chunky girl, alright? She just is. And I need socks that can fit around my chunky little calves. So I did a bit of maths, which is not my strong suit, but I did some maths and I figured out my width of my calf and where I want my sock to come up, and I've knit a vanilla sock. But I'm kind of, it looks weird. It looks weird. But I'm kind of thinking it would be nice for colour work. I could actually wear a colour work sock up my leg. Got a little heel flap and gusset on the back there, and then I'm just knitting the foot. So this one is a little bit of an experiment. It required some thinking. Now it doesn't because it's just my straight stockinette. It could be my TV knitting or my cinnamon knitting, which I think is why it's in time out. I like to have some kind of stockinette-y something for the cinema. So that is a Botanical Yarns. The sock that I thought I brought up, which I have not, I don't really know where it is. I will talk about it some other time. in another little bag that I made that matches my other one. Unplanned. I think I'm just drawn to. I like what I like. Anyway, so those are my active whips. It's everything I have. That is a lie. It is not everything I have on the needles, but it's everything that I'm knitting right now. So let me pause to take another sip. So, no, don't start like that, Molly. So, I thought I would wrap it up a little bit with some acquisitions. I don't have very many because I'm trying to knit from stash, and also it's my birthday coming up. So any yarn that I've seen that I want, I've been sending it to family members being like, oh, wouldn't this be really nice for me? Which they love. They prefer me just telling them what I want. But I have had some exciting packages. First thing was, at the start of August, Neil and I went to a little market, mostly because my favourite Giddy Aunts yarns were there, and I picked up some beautiful little sock sets. I picked up another one, and I started it, and I'm probably going to rip that out. That'll be a story for next time. But anyway, these are actually, I think, this one is a Curiosities Club that they do. Beautiful. I think it's called Old Rusted Gates. So essentially, I don't think you can get this unless it's listed on their website. But this was one of their club colorways, and they had a few extras at their stall. So I picked that up because look at that blue. And it doesn't seem to be in my wheelhouse, but gorgeous. Really perfect October socks. So that's one. And then the other one is a muscle. No, there's a sock set and the colorway is muscle. Again, gorgeous. Autumnal. Beautiful. And I'm resisting the urge to cast those on until I get at least one other sock off my needles. So I did have another sock that I think is from the Curiosity Club as well. You should have a look at their Curiosity Club because they're really beautiful tires. They're really busy at the minute, so they were doing dye to order, which is how I got the yarn for this jumper. They are not doing that right now because they're very busy and they're sorting out their advents and whatever. So keep an eye on their social media for that coming back because it's super speedy service. So the last and most exciting acquisition, and this is not an everyday occurrence for me because that was out of my price range and my budget. I initially got this as a kind of joint birthday present to myself from my other half, but then I was like, do you know what, there's also yarn I want, and I paid for it. Anyway, I opened it early. This is a thread and maple needle binder. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It is beautiful, beautiful real leather. Let me just open this up. So I got a couple of inserts for it. I use the Chowgu needles. So I got this little page specifically for the Chowgus. And what's beautiful about it, I'm sure you've seen these, but if not, I'm going to show you again because it's beautiful. I just can't get over it. I can't get over it's mine. And then I saw that Botanical Yarn was actually had some in stock. I ordered these from Canada. Shipping to Northern Ireland from Canada is pricey. Customs is pricey. Anyway, then I saw that Botanical Yarns has them. So if you're in the UK and you want to get them, Botanical Yarns is the place. Look at this. This is its own. You could get this on its own and it would be perfect. This is for the Chowgu small set. Got my cords in there. this thing comes off. It's got all the sizes here, so you don't have to stress about what size it is. Not that that is a stress, really, but you know. And then you just do a little clippity clip. Gorgeous. And then it goes back in your little binder. Perfect. I'm obsessed with this. It just brings me joy every time. I think that's why I cast on my shawl as well. I was like, I'm going to cast on and I'm going to use my needle binder and it's going to be beautiful. And I just get carried away. But there's so much space. I mean, I think it's worth buying the extra page for your own needle set. And they do, I think, 4 or 5 different needle sets. Or different inserts specifically for needle sets. But there's so much that actually comes with it just on its own. I've got my other little chow goos. These are my short tiny ones that I never use. Got something in there for a little, like, some sort of pockety thing. Put me in there. And then flip the page over. You've got this built in for your needles. And then I also got, because spend a penny, you may as well spend a pound. No, that's not the same. In for a penny, in for a pound. Got this for my extra needle sizes. So I'm very impressed with myself for getting that, because I really, ever since I saw it on the Grocery Girls, but I think that was 3 years ago, I have wanted this. So I've got it. Treat yourself. So anyway, that was my biggest acquisition. I have some yarn requests in with family for my birthday. So that'll be coming soon. But that's pretty much it from me. I've talked a lot longer than I thought I would. Very good, Natalie. So anyway, so yeah, I recorded a podcast. I can't quite believe it. I don't know if this will ever see the light of day, but maybe it will. And if so, thank you for joining me, and I will see you maybe next time. Bye. Want to say hi? Come here. Come here, don't touch. This is Henry. Hi, puppy. Hello, handsome boy. No, not bothered. No. Hello, my good boy. No, you going back for a snooze?